made a video months back talking about why the Thunder are the perfect team, but let's talk about these lineups. They've got a bit of a paradox going on against teams they're actually going to have to beat to win the championship this year, where, yes, they are deeper and more versatile than just about any team in the league. However, as you saw last night, to have the best defense on the floor, it kind of put Shai Gilgeous in a phone booth, and I also made a video about that months ago. Then with the more spaced lineups, you run into the problem against an elite team like Boston, where bigger wings don't really care about your scrappy defenders they can shoot over. So let's say they want to space the floor with Cason Wallace, Isaiah Joe. Well, there's actually a couple of problems there. A lot of teams, including Boston last night, don't actually treat Cason Wallace like a threat. He can hit the shot, but playing for what's more important, they're glad to leave him open. They're glad to give him more looks, turn him into a volume shooter. And while Isaiah Joe can give you the space, now you've just given an elite wing an easy defender to get by, or an easier defender to get by. So you go down the line and you find a similar issue. AJ Mitchell tries on defense, a bigger wing is walking him down. Yeah, that is the same reason OKC didn't look as dominant. As you see, the Thunder have not even put McCain on the floor, and it's because of shit like this right here. They haven't put McCain on the floor in a while, and you end up with another situation like this if you do. Jared McCain. Oh, they're just straight up trying to put him in action. And then there's the curious case of Alex Caruso. This may be one of the swappable options a contending team is the happiest to leave open, and it's not because he just can't shoot. It's because if Caruso takes 7 or 8 threes, Caruso, we're basically guarding him with our big. Pritchard slides over. You had AJ Mitchell in the corner, which would have just drawn a white assignment. Kata would have dropped. So again, even without using J-Dub, Shai is just such a threat. A lot of the times, none of his teammates will be treated as such. And those are 7 or 8 shots Shai didn't take, or a better shooter didn't take. Coaches live with that, but his defense is so valuable. If Daigneault wants to go as small as he can, which has the obvious goal of maximizing shooting, against an elite team, it's very difficult to get away with not using Caruso. And Boston exploited this to the tune of flat out using Neemias Queta to roam off of him last night. So towards the very end, when Daigneault wanted to go his smallest, Boston was comfortable still having their rim protector with 5 fouls on the floor. So this loops you back around to what I call the Thunder's phone booth lineup, and it's their starting lineup. That's crazy. And the starting lineup didn't see a whole lot of time together. It's the double bigs, Dort and J-Dub with Shai. Against very good teams, this might be Shai's weakest lineup. Whatever the numbers say, when he has to get a shot while guys are leaving both wings wide open and the paint is crowded, so more so than them having the lineups or not, is kind of to win certain series, what you'll have to do. Look at Derek White, came all the way over. You had both wings completely open on this play, and this is how they'll be guarded again in this lineup when they have to use this against certain teams. White stepped all the way over. It's now Kata's job to get out to this wing, but either way, you stop the Shai drive, and that's what's the most important, still the most important thing. This really is his toughest situation. Now, I think saying this just comes down to OKC's role players hitting their shots and such simplifies it a little bit, considering A, this is definitely what they struggled with last year and why they didn't look as dominant in the postseason versus the regular season, and B, throughout the year they have consistently been a mid-tier three-point shooting team. Everything from attempts to percentages to makes, it's not their strongest suit. So yes, is the game different if Alex Caruso isn't a complete brick for most of his first shots? Obviously. Is this something similar to how teams are going to guard them in the postseason? Elite teams, and is this how elite teams almost got them last year? Yes. And I'm even more worried because J-Dub has missed most of this season. I do have to wonder where exactly he is. Will he be capable of those 35, 40-point explosions to be that second star next to Shai when he's seeing so much attention? And this is where I wish I trusted Chet a little more. Now, he's had a good year, but honestly, he's kind of who I wish I could look to when Shai is seeing a ton of attention, and I'm wondering who else can really impose their will in this game. And while he's good, he doesn't feel like I can consistently be the second star good. Teams also kind of just, in favor of loading up on Shai, also allow themselves some distance to recover to Chet. And in this game, he's being guarded by an assortment of Tatum, Sam Hauser, and if J-Dub is not what he was last year during this run, you should be able to lean on the guy who also has an enormous contract. Oh, no 6 foul. He's playing with 5. Ah, look at the help. Good defense from Kata without fouling. Shireman pulls over from J-Dub, who doesn't want to just space, and Caruso is spacing, but before he even gets a chance, JB just read that. But let's talk about how the Celtics treated him. As far as how they specifically match up with Boston, they did want to just allow themselves to recover to Sam Hauser, which is funny because over the duration of a series, this might not be the best strategy. Though I get it, a ton of Sam Hauser shots versus Tatum or Brown. Getting downhill, yeah, but even then, the Celtics team is so deep. When Sam started to falter on defense, they brought in Baylor Shireman and he held his own, and he hit shots. Something Sam wasn't doing early on. Gonna use him to involve McCain, which is the trade-off. So a switch happens and McCain tries to get back, so he doesn't have to guard JB. Now Shea's engaged, and he knows that pass is going there, so he jumps at it, and Shireman knows that Shea knows it's going there. So pump fake, bucket. As a matter of fact, the Celtics really do have the pieces Shea needs, i.e. Peyton Pritchard, who is small, and they did hunt him, but he's very active on defense. He's not someone you can just full-time bully. B, the Celtics team defense is good enough to not let that be a full-time liability. And C, Pritchard can cause you some really, really big issues over the course of a game. And this is the thing that OKC's kind of missing, is them doing things like this to Shea. They're ready to help, they're dissuading the drive. Shea don't really have a guy to pass to right there who can comfortably hit that shot. That's a really, really far shot. That's still farther than you want, but Pritchard has showed. And he's just really not the one who, to play off of. Just like I was saying earlier, he will fuck your day up. So whereas you can feel comfortable giving a lot of these OKC guys shots, it's not really the same on the Celtics side. But how about the amount of usage they've gotten out of Kata? The Thunder found themselves trying to hunt him and drop, and it was opening things up more than they had been. But Boston's activity is so good, you saw Shea not really wanting to just pull up. Guys were on his side, they're behind him. It wasn't like, okay, drop defense from the big, I could just take the open shot. He was still trying to get really creative, and it was difficult. So not only could they not take full advantage of where he was on defense, on offense, him as a roller just caused tons of issues. Hand off to Tatum. J-Dub was already trailing, so Hartenstein really just had to show high, and this is kind of one big thing for JT, good playmaking. Chet stunned it at Kata, probably would have got to him. Sam Hauser. One of the reasons the Celtics team is so good, you're going to see they choose to play off of him. You see the Sam Hauser gamble comes from a screen. Chet is not forced to split this difference between the corner and a free two-pointer. Tags a little bit, stunts a little bit, and now we're just going to run out to Sam, which is a gamble that they've gotten away with today. But over the course of a 7-game series, will you get away with that? With him in any kind of PNR, the Thunder's defense just had to make choices, and the Celtics have so many good playmakers. Multiple times they're able to find the wing, they're able to find the corner, or just use his role. He is their most important big, by far. He's the only big really known for defense. And the fact he can make himself useful on offense without being a stretch big, without having to force himself to take middies, he created a problem for this team. It is true the Thunder are better and deeper than every team they will play, but especially the modern NBA is about matchups. And them being able to repeat is totally going to depend on how they handle these type of matchups. If Brown and Tatum start killing you to the point you can't do without a Lou Dort on the floor or a J-Dub, now you're depending on Dort, who is at his pre-shooting numbers, to have a night like he had last night where he shot better than usual. And even when he was a threat by the math last year, teams didn't treat him as such. As a matter of fact, them being a mid-tier shooting team this year, they didn't shoot great from 3 in almost any of the series they played. As a matter of fact, it was on the lower end for about half of them. Yeah, they have a lot of features other teams cannot match. Some of their lineups are going to work against teams as it just worked against the Nuggets a couple of weeks ago, although Denver was missing some key pieces. That's important. Still, yes, the Thunder can overwhelm a majority of the NBA. That's why they've been as good as they've been this year despite being hurt. When they face teams that are going to force them to play a certain way, I think it's going to be a really good series because of games like the chess match you saw last night. Let me know what you thought of Thunder Celtics below while hitting the bell next to my name if you want notifications every time a new video drops, while also hitting the like button and subscribing. Appreciate you watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.